Hi Stampers, this is Amy Whalen with Amy's Inklings, and I wanted to share a really fun, whimsical project with you today. I recently held a stamp camp for young stampers, and we made these little magnets to go up on your refrigerator. Now I used, I think these are called Rummikub tiles, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I have often found dominoes work well too, especially if they have a plain, unadorned, flat backside. But anyway, I chose the Rummikub tiles for this one because they're a little wider than my dominoes. So let me show you how I got started. I'll zoom back. Okay. Alrighty. Staz On Ink is a must. You want Staz On Ink because you're going to want to color the image, and so you want a permanent ink for your stamped image. Let me move these over. The fun stamp set that we're using today is called From the Herd. It's super fun. This llama cracks me up. I don't know if you can see him, but his expression makes me laugh every time I see him. He's so funny. Alright, so this is what we did at my stamp camp. This is one of our larger stamps, and so I was teaching the girls the best way to ink it is to put the stamp with the on the table with the image facing up, and then to bring the tile down on it. So for instance, let's see. I'm sorry if the table is shaking. Okay. And it gets stuck sometimes. Yep, perfect. And then let me also do the little piggy, because I want to show you two different ways that you can color the images. Let's see. He's kind of wide. There we go. Okay, that's what I got. Come on. Well, good enough for this purpose. We made several mistakes at camp, and so I just took our Staz On Cleaner, rubbed the tile, and it became clean again. So if you don't like the first attempt that you color, then you can always redo it. One way to color, or stamp it rather, one way to color it is to use a permanent marker like a Sharpie. However, it's not my first choice, because although once you color it and it dries, you're done, if you can see, and I'll see if I can zoom up a little bit, you can see that as I'm touching the stamped image, it's pulling ink in. See how it's getting a little muddy? If I keep bringing my pen over and doodling on my scratch pad and then kind of going over those smudged areas, then it looks a little bit better. But coloring them with these Sharpies, see right there? If I clean my marker on scratch paper and then go back over that spot, it kind of cleans up the mess, but it's just not the best way to color it, but it certainly is one option. What I did was I simply used our Stampin' Right markers. Now these markers are water-based, and so they won't dry on the plastic. But the lovely thing about them is, see how I'm going up to the stamped image? It's not pulling the ink and smearing the ink. The Staz On Ink is permanent. It dried, and I guess there's something in a Sharpie pen that dissolves the Staz On Ink, which is why it's really not the perfect solution for coloring. And that's why I prefer the water-based markers for Stampin' Right markers. Oops. Give it a little pink tongue. He cracks me up. He really does. He makes me laugh. Oh my gosh, there's a saying my mother used to say, the giraffe will make you laugh, but in this case it's the llama. Alright, and we'll give him, let me see if I can give him some pink ears right now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this won't dry. Okay, let me zoom back. What I used afterwards, after we were done, is we brought these outside and I spray painted it with a clear varnish. Now this can is old as the hills. I probably got it out of my mother's shed when we moved to her years back. But it's what I had and it worked. So this is a gloss finish, and so we brought these outside and we just spray painted them, sprayed them, and left them alone. Now what this varnish did is it kind of moved, kind of swirled the ink a little bit, but the ink stayed in place and I didn't seem to mind that at all. So you'll notice, I don't know how else to explain it, but when we put the varnish on, it kind of pickled. I don't know, can't explain it, but nonetheless it looks perfectly fine, don't you think? So then of course we put a magnet on the back. These are the magnets that I got at a craft store, and I simply hot glued the back side, and we were done. The kids really enjoyed this project. This is such a perfect stamp set to use when you're making magnets because they're fun to color and their expressions are so hysterical. So I hope you give it a try. It really is great fun. Thanks for stopping by Amy's Inklings. Bye-bye.